It's a delight to come your way this moment with a role model dialogue exclusively on Truth TV, where truth liberates. My name is Samuel, and it's so much of a relief to have you join us on this interactive session where we have one of African personalities whose contributions in the country, on the continent, and beyond are worthy of emulation. Today, we have a distinguished female who has blazed a trail in academia and business, and she'll be sharing in perspective the story of her journey. So join me as we welcome Genevieve Duncan Obuobi. Thanks for joining us, Genevieve.
Thank you, Samuel.
You're looking amazing.
Thank you.
It's good to have you.
Good to see you as well.
Good. So before we go any further, I just want our viewers to know that Genevieve has a book that will be released in the next couple of weeks, and I'd like you to see it even before the conversation starts. So it is titled The Jigsaw Effect of Leaders, and at a point in our conversation she will just touch on what we should expect for this particular book. I would again like to mention that if you have a business, you run a company, you want to promote your products and associate your brand with this show, please do call any of the contacts on the screen, and my producer will get in touch with you so we can have your brand and business aligned with the show. Genevieve, welcome once again.
Thank you.
Good. So we want to go into your education. Personally, I know you have a number of academic laurels, and it's quite amazing to look at you study, excel, and use it for your profession as well. So let's take it from current, then we'll go downwards. Yeah, so currently in academia, what programs are you pursuing, and what is the ultimate goal in that regard?
Okay, so currently I'm a doctoral student of the Swiss Business School.
Okay. And
my focus or my research is actually centered on customer relationship management with a focus of the banking industry or the banking sector, and how they can, I'll say how they can relate better with SMEs and make both parties like mutual benefits, so profitable. Let me put it like that.
Okay, so that is to say very soon I would have to address you as Dr. Genevieve Duncan.
You can address me like that, or just Genevieve would still do.
Okay, so ahead of your doctoral program which you are pursuing now, which other academic pursuits have you engaged in?
Okay, so I hold a master's from the University of Ghana Business School.
Okay,
and
you went to a good school.
And I have a degree from Gempa Green Hill College. But aside that, I believe in personal development. So I've done quite a number of programs in terms of management and then leadership. And I can't mention all, but I've done quite a number with globally respected institutions like CIBS, like Harvard Business School and Cranfield Business.
Okay, so for instance with CIBS, what program have you done with CIBS?
So I did a program with CIBS called WELA. WELA is Women, Entrepreneurship and Leadership for Africa. So it focuses on women in leadership and women entrepreneurs. Yeah,
I see you have a penchant for women. That probably informs your decision to study such a program at CIBS. But why is your passion drawn towards women?
I'm a woman, and just I'll say definitely once I'm a woman, I would always want to focus on things that will make me better and contribute to, let's say, womanhood. I really love a quote from Diane Marichal. She says, a woman is a woman is a full circle.
Okay.
In her is to nurture,
so a man,
to create,
small circle.
half circle.
We are half circle.
Nurture and to transform.
Okay.
Not to say that we are belittling men, but we all know that women have the tendency of multiplying everything you give them. Women have a ripple effect on everything you do with them, you know. So I believe that as a woman, once I personally am empowered and I can actually replicate that in other women, it means that I should develop more on myself so that doing that for other people will become a bit easier. Probably I'll say that's why maybe I've focused on a lot of things to do with leadership, to do with entrepreneurship, just so that you get women to understand that leadership has nothing to do with gender. I'm a woman. Once I have the potential, I can take a role and manage and handle it effectively, just as a man could also do. I am not of the view of too much of the equality play, but I believe that whatever potential you are gifted with, whether you're a man or a woman, you should be able to serve humanity with it. So basically, I'll say that's why probably I love to do stuff so much that is focused on womanhood.
You are tuned into the Role Model Dialogue on Truth TV. Our personality for this moment is Genevieve Duncan Obuobi, and she's sharing in perspective the story of her journey. She's just started talking about how she has focused on women, and we want to delve a little bit into that. Stay tuned. So, Genevieve, with regards to women again, which particular projects have you embarked on, engaged in that area?
Okay, so I do quite a number of stuff for younger women.
Okay.
So mentoring younger women into leadership
Okay.
or leadership roles. I also help with community work where you focus on women with, trying to get them to be skillful so that they can earn something financially. I really believe in financial empowerment of women. So you can't just say you're empowering someone if the person cannot bring food to the table. So I do a number of activities with community-based organizations, NGOs, and just to help women in communities to be able to get some skill and help themselves and their families with.
Has there been testimonials? Has it been beneficial?
Sure, it has been very beneficial.
Okay, to what extent? Have any shared with you? Have you seen people move from one stage to the other?
Okay, so just to mention a few.
Okay.
I have quite a number of people in the not even rural communities, but in the East Legon enclave, where you get a lot of women who are into businesses. Some are into hardware, some are into probably FMGCs, but they normally would focus on just the small bits. But you get them structured, you get them to put a few systems in place. So you see them from one point to the other. And I have quite a number of women that I'll say have benefited from my guidance and from my coaching.
Okay. Any typical or particular example that you can share?
I have a particular woman called Hajia.
Okay.
So she's around the Adringano enclave.
Okay.
And she's into big time hardware products. But then I'll say she wasn't at she wasn't at that spot where you can say that, okay, she has the potential, but probably she doesn't have systems. Okay. So she doesn't have maybe a basic accounting system. And I was able to help her get a few, I'll say, HND holders. Yes, because with SMEs, they don't normally want to spend so much money on people they employ or their workers, right? So you get them to understand that it's going to be beneficial to you at the end of the day. So even if you cannot employ a chartered accountant, you can employ a HND holder or someone who is in school and is also looking for the skill. So it becomes mutual. The person is looking for the skill. You, the business owner, you're also looking for some sort of system or structure to help your business grow. So I'll say she's a typical example. But because I belong to quite a number of women networks, I've helped quite a number of women in business as well.
Okay, yes. So why would you like to focus and help women whilst we can have a man also have a peculiar challenge like Hajia has?
So what it is that for me, I won't say I would help only women or I help only women, but it's like we all have our key focus areas. So my key focus area is actually to see women financially empowered. So it means that I'm skewed more to helping women in business to pick up and then grow better. And if I chance on a man who also wants my services, why not?
I see.
Because these are actually voluntary stuff I do for women in my
true.
network. So
okay, you spoke on things you do to develop yourself personally. You spoke of some programs you have pursued. To what extent do you think personal development contributes to an individual's growth?
I am of the view that your personal development is for you. You have to be intentional about it. Because you see, whether it's in career, it's in business, it's in social life, wherever you find yourself, I think the only way to go is to learn.
Okay.
So it's a continuous process. So I won't say because I'm a banker, I will just focus on my banking career.
Okay.
Because I could actually adapt skills like baking, doing beads, doing cosmetology, anything that I find interesting that can actually help me financially become better or free. Let me put it like that. So once I have the time to do so, I don't see anything wrong with pursuing that. But even in my own case, I have pursued both those skills and I still pursue my academia skills. You get it? Because I believe that we are in an evolving world. Things are changing. Nobody knew COVID was coming, right? But today COVID is here. So if you're someone who is not very skewed towards technology, today you are going to work on webness. You're going to do presentations virtually. You need to have that skill. So I believe that as a woman, if you are chanced and you can learn one or two skills to improve yourself, why not be intentional about it? The word is intentional. Be intentional about your own personal development. That's what I believe in.
So it's important for women to be very deliberate about your personal development, and there are no boundaries for you to excel. Personal development, academic excellence is a key consideration that each person, each human needs to have. We want to look at Genevieve's contribution to folks in the SME fraternity and see what she does in that regard.
Okay. So in terms of SMEs, like I said, basically for the kind of work I do, I happen to meet quite a number of businesses that have started like just buying and selling. But I'm of the view that it's important to start right. So even if you're starting, maybe I'll say bead making,
Okay.
and you have it in mind that, oh, I'm just doing it to make a living, it's important to get a sort of structure. So you get the beads, you know how much it costs you to provide one bead or one necklace or whatever it is. But you know that at the end of the period, I have a cycle. So even if it's going to take me a month to sell, when this money comes back, I know I'm going to use it to make more beads. And I know whatever I've earned, I'm maybe putting it back or pouring it back into my business instead of spending it. Because I always cite this example when I see my women folk. Like I say to them that, you see, as you sit here and you do business in the market centers or probably by the roadside, those who sell the roasted plantain and all that, I get the chance. East Legon has quite a number of roasted plantain,
and
I have the chance of, yes, in a very diplomatic way, very expensive. Yeah. But I have quite a number of them as friends. And most times when I'm chatting with them, I say to them that, let's say, Akosia, this kokoya awututun. So let me just break it down. They say kokoya awututun. Utiha yogurt is, you know what,
okay.
Maybe you feel like eating something, you just buy it. You forget that you're actually hatching your eggs before they arrive. Because you see, it's business. So probably you've invested 10,000 Ghana cedis. By the time you realize the month ends and you realize that, okay, I'm getting money, but you forget that whatever you are doing has some sort of operational cost. So you need to factor in all these things. But the point is that we need to help them because sometimes they see the money, so they are fine. Until a point that it's like the money is locked, you get to understand that, oh, it's like my capital is all gone. How did they go? The 1 CD for the yogurt, the 2 CD for the probably the cake or the meat pie here and there. That is what is taking your money away. Aside what we use at home and all that. So for me, I believe that you need to start right. Whatever small business you find yourself in, look into the future or see tomorrow and try and implement some basic steps. I'm not saying go and get a PC or go and get a chartered accountant to come and man your books for you. But have tomorrow in mind and start right today so that the journey of you becoming more successful becomes shorter. Per statistics, we all know that the first 3 years of every business is very important. And if you don't take care, you might not cross the 3rd year. So if you've realized that these are statistical evidence, then it means that in my own small way, how can I help SMEs to prevent these like pitfalls? Let me put it like that. So I also try to mentor SMEs by what I do is more to get my SME folks, another SME who is more experienced, so that it's like you're more of being mentored.
Genevieve, I am mindful that you play your leadership role in various facets. I want to pick it from the aspects of your contribution to younger folks, not even the youth, but children. Yeah. Why are you paying attention to children now? Thinking of developing children, especially in this COVID times. I've seen a number of endeavors that you are pioneering.
Okay, so I'm of the faith and the belief that you catch them young.
Okay.
So it stays with them forever. So once you are able to embed some skills in children, I would say from ages 5, because from ages 5, their minds are open to quite a lot of understanding issues. So once we are able to embed leadership skills and qualities in these children, they get to understand that, okay, so as a child, I'm not being selfish because I'm teaching you how not to be selfish. So you have something, it's actually yours. It's not like it's mine, but you should learn how to share. At home, you should learn how to do teamwork. So if mommy's shoes are messy, you should know that, okay, mommy cannot do it all. So as a child, I can help mommy with maybe packing her shoes. I can help with maybe washing the bowls. At age 5, it will be difficult for a child to wash a bowl. But at least the child is responsible that when I'm done with eating, I can carry my bowl and put it into the sink. You know, these are very little things that if you don't take care, you neglect. But I believe that as children, once we are getting them to understand that leadership starts from the home, leadership starts right from the beginning. It becomes part of them. It's like it's ingrained in them. It's embedded in them. So they grow and it's become part of them, so they don't depart. Like the Bible says, you teach a child the way to go.
So when
the child goes, he doesn't depart. So the same way we are focused on teaching them stuffs in school, getting them like they are in preschool and we want them to be focused, learn well and all that. The same way I believe that collectively, I would start, but I need support of parents. I need support of other stakeholders to understand that it's we trying to get the next generation. We always say future leaders.
Okay.
So what are we doing to get the next generation of the future leaders ready for the task ahead? Because you can tell that where the world is moving towards, we need leaders who understand leadership.
Okay.
We need leaders who are human. We need leaders who would actually understand that the way I'm feeling, so I'll say empathy, the way I'm feeling, if I were in your shoes, I would want you to feel the same good way I'm feeling. So these are some of the reasons why I have taken that task, that I believe that in my own small way, if I'm an advocate of mindset shift in terms of leadership, then in my own small way, I could start with kids, because I have done quite a number of work with the youth in the tertiary institution. And one of the things I realize is that they've grown already. These skills and characteristics, they've already formed their behavioral pattern.
So have you left us to our fate?
No, I haven't. I still do that. And that is one of the reasons why I was adjudged the best personality in terms of leadership for the Chartered Institute of Leadership and Governance last year, because of the roadshow and knowledge sharing I do for the youth. But I just decided that, okay, as part of, I'll say, community service, let me start with children.
So what exactly do you do with the children, and which platform do they come to your location? Do you have a place they go to? Do you engage them virtually? How is it like?
So initially we meet as in school, just as we do on weekends. We get children to work in groups or teams. We get children to learn stories of the Bible, great leaders in the world. So world economy, great leaders in terms of presidents, in terms of prime ministers, in terms of people who have served nations. And then we also get them to work in teams based on Bible story characters that inform them of leadership, let's say leadership maneuvers, right? And then we also get them to understand the home setting, how they can help as kids, although they are children, how they should assume the leadership role and serve their homes, their siblings, their parents, just so that you get them to understand that leadership is actually not when you are seated on a particular chair, but wherever you find yourself in your own small way, what you can do to improve and impact society. That's what leadership to me is all about. So that is why my focus has been there. And what I do now, because of COVID, we started doing the virtual one. So we do Zoom, where we get people all over the world. We have people from Canada, we have people from the UK, because of the time zones. In the mornings, we normally get there because our time is actually from 11 to 12. It's just an hour, yes. And we do it on Zoom. So we have people from Nigeria, from UK, and then most especially Ghana.
How regular is it? Is it once a week, once a month?
Every weekend. Every Saturday.
So why would the parents want to, that is if you pay, why would the parents want to pay for their wards to be part of this initiative?
Okay, like I said, the whole idea is a collective idea. One can initiate an idea, but you can't do it alone. You need the buy-in of others to make it realize. So once I am of the view that we need to embed these skills in the kids today, from ages 5 to 12, as parents and parents who are already on board, I'll say thank you to the parents who are already on board, but I'll say that to the parents out there who are considering coming on board, the whole idea is a collective effort. We need to groom better leaders for tomorrow, greater leaders, leaders who understand what leadership is all about. Not to say that we don't have good leaders, we still have great leaders, but we need to have more leaders who understand what leadership is all about. And I believe that collectively, when parents come on board and we get these skills embedded in the kids, because once we are having these classes, we give them some sort of task. So at home, parents are aware that these are tasks that have been assigned based on the leadership course that we are taking. So parents are part of it. Because if we don't get the buy-in of parents and the kids are just allowed to come on board and learn, I don't think we'll get the kind of results that. So these kids, we have Star of the Month.
Are the kids changing? Are they? Are you seeing any improvement in their lives?
I would say yes. I'll just come and talk about that Star of the Month. So you get a particular home where there are 3 kids,
okay,
and because of what you are teaching them, when we come every weekend, we discuss what kind of leadership attributes did you show at home. So we've learned about empathy, we've learned about perseverance.
And the 5-year kids understand.
They understand, yes. Kids of today, my dear, the kind of mind
okay,
they have, the same way they can watch cartoons,
that's true,
the same way they can watch video games and play their
on their console,
and all that, and the way they are able to understand everything, it tells you that this is the best time to start teaching them key things that we need them to grow with. You get it? So you get, like I was saying, you get children who are at home or siblings, and they come back and they are telling you that my sister did not share her food with me.
Okay.
She wanted to have the food all by herself. So then she's telling you that you did not show leadership skill. Then one person will say, my daddy brought this to the house. We were supposed to share it equally. Because she said she's the big girl, she took the greater part and shared the small part to us. You know, so you're trying to get them to understand that, okay, so even at home, the little things that we do. I get people come and say to me that because my sister participated so well and she was so good at home, I want to bring her on board so that we can actually vote her or nominate her as the personality or the leadership or star of the month. You get it? So once you are putting all these ideas into the children, they get to understand that, okay, once I'm doing what is right, I'll be appreciated for it. It is not so much of the recognition, but it's actually a behavioral pattern we are trying to shape in kids. Okay. So basically, I think...
So what numbers are you working with now? 5 kids, 10 kids, 15 kids?
Oh, the last session we had, we are on break. We'll start again on 26th. The last session we had, we started with about... I think we'll start with 8 kids. Okay. But before we ended, we had 22 children.
Okay, so what support are you receiving? Is it self-financing, the parents are paying, or an organization is supporting?
No, so virtually what happens is that this is a virtual thing now. So all we do is to get parents to contribute in terms of, like, I don't believe in free things, I always say, because once you are part of something and something of you is going or something of yours is going, it gets you to understand that you are part of it. It's like you get involved.
Yeah, you feel belong to it.
Yes, and you feel belong to it. And because we buy data, definitely parents need to contribute a little token, just so that we charge 100 Ghana cedis for the whole month. So like 25 cedis for
like a
the
weekend.
Week. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So basically,
let's move to your role on tertiary campuses and for the youth. Yeah, I know especially when you used to work close to University of Professional Studies, you do a number of activities on their campus. Do you mind sharing in perspective some of the things you have done with tertiary students and the youth in general?
Okay, so with the youth in general, like I said, I do a road show, and I'll say thanks to Role Model Africa as well, because Role Model Africa has done quite a number of activities on campuses, which I have been one of the resource people, and I believe that with youth in general, we are trying to gear the youth towards a particular direction. That, look, you have role models right here in Africa, right here in Ghana. We have people we can look up to. So in terms of the youth, I have done quite a number of things. I'll say majority of, or almost all the campuses I've done Wisconsin, I've done Ashesi, I've done Legon, I've done IPS. I've
They are now
done
UPS, sorry.
UPS,
UPSA.
sorry, UPSA.
UPSA. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've done a bit with Kumasi,
Okay.
a few like different
Yeah,
groups. So
Kumasi,
I
they'll
think
be
I've done
angry.
quite
They'll
a
say
bit.
they are KNU.
KNUST.
I see. Let's look at your role with the CILG, Chartered Institute of Leadership and Governance. There's been a feature on you in the magazine. You've been on the front page, and you do quite some impressive work there. What is CILG, and what do you actually do with them?
Okay, so CILG is Chartered Institute of Leadership and Governance. The mother company is actually in New Mexico, the USA.
Okay.
I'm a member of Silk,
Okay.
USA, but then Ghana chapter. So what happens is that Silk is actually focused on getting the best in terms of leadership and governance. So if you're a member of Silk, what is expected of you is to show by example what kind of leader you are. So you have to walk your talk, more like it. And one of the key focus is actually to share knowledge. And that is exactly what I do. So with the community work, with campuses, with kids, it's all geared to actually make sure that whatever the Silk agenda is, I'm leaving it in my own small way.
So is it chartered like how someone to become like a chartered accountant?
Sure. You write exams, you go through, yes,
I
you go
see.
through the exams. We have two parts.
Okay.
So you can either go through the academic or professional. So based on your professional, probably you can be exempted in some of the papers.
Yeah. So
And
for
then-
instance, yourself, which one have you pursued?
I've done both.
Oh, you can have actually
Yes,
that.
I've done both. So I have done continuous development. So I was a member. Now I'm a fellow.
Okay.
Because although you're a member, you can do continuous development plan to make you a fellow. So you do the programs that you're supposed to do. You are supposed to do a few courses. So once you go through the courses, you can be moved. Your membership can change. Let me put it like that.
You're watching the Role Model Dialogue on Truth TV. It's been an engaging conversation with Genevieve Duncan Obuobi in the past few minutes. She has been talking about leadership and her role with children, the youth, and with the Chartered Institute of Leadership and Governance. So Genevieve, in the next few minutes, I want to get your personal understanding of what leadership is about. What does leadership mean to you, and to what extent do you think leadership in family, in homes, in school are displaying the right kind of leadership that's supposed to be given out?
Okay, so I'll say for me, leadership is actually you identifying that you have the passion to serve others. It is not where I find myself seated in a branch that says that I'm the head of the branch. No, I don't see it like that. It is not the position I find myself in, but it is because I have the ability to lead others. I have the ability to actually get others to move towards a particular vision or a particular goal. So for instance, at work, if you are a leader, what does it mean? You can be the security man, but you can have leadership attributes in you, and you can actually show it. And if you have a good support system, let's say your team is good, they can actually handpick you and say, this is a security man of a difference. You get it? So if you're a home, a father, a mother, a child, what does leadership mean? For me, I'll say that in every society, definitely because of chaos, there should be somebody who heads a particular movement, a particular vision, a particular home.
Do you think women are better leaders than men?
I won't say yes and I won't say no. It's a yes and a no. I started by saying leadership has no gender.
Okay.
A woman can be a great leader. A man can be a great leader. I know men who are very great at even taking care of kids. And I have some women who are so poor in terms of taking care of kids. So you can't say a man is better than a woman. That is my position. I think because it has no gender, you can decide that even if I'm not so good, I would learn to be a better leader. So whether you find yourself at work, at home, in society, wherever you find yourself, I think it's important for you to distinguish yourself. If you call yourself a leader, walk your talk. Do things that others will look up to you and say, it is because of you. You have directed me. Because leadership is all about you directing, you making sure that this is where we are going. And everybody else is following me to get to this destination. So it depends on your skill as a leader and what you find doing. So if I am good here, you put me there. If you are good there, I put you there. Collectively, we move towards where we are going. So that is what I believe.
So Genevieve, as we were speaking earlier, you were talking about leadership. You were talking about women. I want to understand for yourself and the women you have engaged, what height do you look at making them to attain at the end of the day?
Personally, I won't say it depends, because we have women in terms of corporate life, we have women in terms of business life, and we have women in general who are not doing much. They just have their families, housewives, let me put it like that. But for me, I believe that wherever you find yourselves, whether you're a housewife, whether you are a corporate woman, whether you are a business owner, wherever you find yourself, once you're a woman, you need to be intentional about your growth. So growth can be you moving from where you are today to the vision that you have and following a particular step or following steps together. So wherever I find myself, I believe that you should be able to be intentional. I love the word intentional, because you need to be conscious about where you want to head towards, where you want to go to. So if I'm a wife and I'm just at home supporting my kids and my husband, if I want to be financially empowered, because I talk about financial empowerment, then it means that I need to do things with my flexibility, but then I need to do things with my hands, or be skillful that I can also make money out of just staying at home. Because now you can stay at home and virtually make lots of money. There are so many means of making money, even right from your home. You don't need to be physically present in a location before you make money.
At home, how do you and your husband exemplify leadership roles for each other as a couple and as parents for your young ones?
So I'll say, I know my role as a woman at home. I know my role as a mother and a wife. My husband understands that I'm a corporate woman. So he gives me the needed support, because most times, writing a book, doing doctoral studies, it all takes time off home. So at dawn, you need to wake up and study. You need to wake up in the morning to get breakfast, probably if it's a weekend, ready. But if he understands, which he does, that, oh, okay, so this is my wife, and this wife of mine loves to do things at dawn. So early in the morning, she's tired and she needs to sleep. He's able to understand that and help you with it. However, it doesn't also mean that I abuse that and say, oh, my husband understands, so I would sleep till like 10 o'clock before I wake up to prepare breakfast for my child and my husband. So I think we all know where to fit in. We all know where to help each other and to support. I always say that if you don't have the kind of support system, especially from home, you will break down as a woman, because women are jugglers. We do a whole lot of things together, and we always need the support of our men and our children, but we need to also engage them for them to understand that we need to still prioritize them. I think so. So for me, it's all about you having a priority list and knowing that as much as my career is important, as much as writing my book, as much as writing my articles and doing all my fora is important, I also need to focus on my home, because I need my babies, or I need my child Jaden, I need my husband Kwame to know that they have a woman, they have a wife, they have a mother in me. So you don't downplay any of these things. We all play our role, and then it fits perfectly, just like the jigsaw. Everybody plays their role, and then it fits perfectly.
So it fits perfectly, just like the jigsaw. So given that you are a branch manager, you currently serve at Fidelity Bank, the ANC Mall branch. You were previously at ANC. You moved to UPSA, and you are back to ANC. In such a role that you are in, busy wife, mother, in terms of particular activities, chores at home, how are you able to do them?
I think life is all about priorities. So you have to put your priority list before you.
Do you have a household that helps you to balance those things?
Unfortunately not, I don't. But my mother is very supportive. So my mother...
You cannot afford a house help now?
I can afford a house help, but I have a different view when it comes to house help. I believe in having a good support system. So house helps are very important if you need them. But in my case, at the moment, I have my mother, who is very supportive. She's strong, and she's able to support me at home with my child.
Okay.
So I don't really need a house help.
Okay.
So that is why I don't have a house help.
Okay. So you are able to play roles that you regularly play, like any typical mother or wife would do?
Yes, I do. And it doesn't, you see, being a leader or trying to climb the ladder wherever you find yourself, whether corporate, your personal life, or it should not have anything to do with your own personal ambition. So even though I'm a manager and I manage a team of people, once they are empowered and everybody knows their role, and I am playing my role equally, the same way at home, I should know my role. My husband knows his role. My son Jaden knows his role. So we all play our role so that it does not affect each other. So I will not say, I'm busy doing bank work, I'm busy writing my books, I'm busy having my doctoral studies, so my children or my husband should suffer. No. So I make sure that I prioritize, and where I need to spend quality time with my family, I do. Where I need to focus and do something that develops me personally, I do. Because remember that if you don't put all these parts together, one part will be lacking. And once you are not fulfilled one side, it might even affect the other sides that are doing well. So you need to, in a way, that's why I use the phrase that you need to get a perfect fit.
Okay.
So that you get the jigsaw perfectly arranged. You get it. So basically, I think you should prioritize.
Genevieve, your dad is a chief. He plays critical role also in academia. I think he lectures as well. It looks more like you were born with a golden spoon in your mouth. And how has it been for you coming from a rich background?
Hey, rich is relative. I'm coming from a wealthy background. Okay. I'll not say rich because we've all had our struggles. If I start to tell you my struggles in life, you might...
Maybe your struggle in life was that, oh, you just had 1 milk in a day. You use 1 tin of milk in a day. That's the only struggle.
I don't know. I have my own struggles.
One Christmas, there was no chicken. Just that struggle.
Not really. But like you're saying, my dad has been I'll say my dad has been like my main role model.
Okay. Are you a daddy's daughter?
I'm both. Daddy and
mommy.
daddy's
girl. Both daddy and mommy's girl.
I'm both. Because I have a system that, allows both of them to play their role perfectly. So I would say that in terms of support, my dad has also been very supportive. Both parents have been supportive. My dad, I worry a lot when it comes to academia because my dad is on that angle, let me put it like that. And he was a former banker. So in terms of role modeling, he's been a great coach. So I'll say it's all about you knowing where to put everybody and knowing where to go for what. So when you have a good support system, it helps. Whether family, whether work, it helps. And my work has also been very supportive because you can imagine managing a branch, going back to school, having a family. If you don't also get the right support from work, it will be very difficult for you to juggle these things together.
In addition to your dad, whom you mentioned, which people have you looked up to in life? Whether in business or academia or life in general, which personalities have you looked up to? I'm not even talking about those you've had direct contact as mentors with.
It's interesting because I'm going to mention a lady that is known as a hard lady, Margaret Thatcher. Okay. She's somebody I've read extensively on, and I love her. Theresa May, right? Okay. I think I love her personality as well. And there is this woman who came recently, I think 2 years ago, Roshi. I don't remember the surname, but I had read about Roshi before she joined Vodafone. Is it Vodafone or Airtel? One of them. I think Airtel, now Airtel Tigo. Okay. So I have quite a few women I have looked up to. I don't know them personally. Yeah. Because I don't believe that I need to know somebody before the person becomes my role model. Okay. And Oprah is one woman I actually admire a lot, and I have read about her as well. Michelle Obama is another person that I have read about. I'll say for her when she became a president's wife. That's why I got to know about her. And I took my time to study about her and know. But aside that, when I bring it down here, I have quite a number of women that I have admired and I have looked up to. A particular person is someone who managed me, Eugenia Owusu. I have another manager, Esther Esiodulabi. These are women, but they've played very important roles in my life. And I'll say my former MD, Mr. Jim Baden, is somebody that I have looked up to in terms of leadership, you know. So I have quite a number of them. I can't mention
I
everybody's
see
name.
Mr. Jim Baden did a forward for your book.
Yes.
And he is a co-founder of the bank. What relationship would you have with a person like that for him to be this close to do a forward for you?
I wish I could tell, but for me, all I'll say is I think one needs to be a difference wherever you find yourself. You need to stand out. That's what I think. Because I think I have been mentored by a great personality like him. He's watched me grow from being a entry-level staff to a middle-level manager. And I think it's all about how you also pick the lessons that you are being taught. And for me, I'll say he's a father of all. So he won't intentionally pick you out and say, you are my favorite. But he guides you. And once he's guiding you and he's saying that you are taking the footsteps, definitely if need arises and you need him to do such a thing for you, why not? And so I had to call on him and say, sir, I am writing a book. I would want you to go through it. If it fits the purposes to which I'm writing the book, I would kindly be happy or honored if you forward the book for me.
How important do you think mentoring is?
I think mentoring is very important because just as I have said, my dad has been a great mentor to me. He's watched me move from one step to the other. My former boss, like I rightly said, and other people who have been in leadership roles and I have encountered, have, you know, they've taught me to prevent some pitfalls, let me put it like that, because mentoring is all about people who are experienced and preventing you from going through the experiences, step 1, step 2, step 3. So you can move from step 1 to step 3 because you don't necessarily need to go through all the steps. If you have a great mentor, what he has gone through, he would tell you. So you don't need, if it was a bad experience, you don't need to repeat it. But if it's a good experience, you even get it better.
Yeah, I want to touch on your family, your personal life again. Which Montessori did you attend growing up?
I didn't go to a Montessori. I went to a few private schools.
Okay.
I went to a few private schools.
Okay, so how was primary school for you? Which school were you in? How was academics for you? Were you excelling? Were you trailing? How was it like?
Okay, so I'll say I was a good student at school.
Okay.
So I started from Mamprobi, St. Mary's.
Okay.
I left St. Mary's.
St. Mary's at senior high school?
No, St. Mary's is junior,
really?
as in kids.
I see.
Yeah. And then I went to Edward Greenwich Classical Academy. It was in Dansoman. I don't know if it's still there.
Are they still classical?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know if it's still there.
It should
be. From there, I went to Bishop Girls. But before Bishop Girls, I went to Prefect. Prefect used to have a primary school.
Prefect Legon.
Yes, they used to have a very good primary school.
Okay.
Now I don't know the status, but they used to have a very good primary school. So when I moved from Mamprobi to Adenta, I went to Prefect. And then I left Prefect to Bishop Girls in Accra.
Bishop Girls is a senior high school.
No, Bishop Girls is I didn't finish Prefect. I left Prefect.
Okay.
So I
finished.
You sacked? No, I wasn't sacked. I was a girls prefect.
Oh.
I left Prefect I think my second year.
Okay.
So I went to
why did
Bishop
you leave
Girls.
Prefect your second year?
I left Prefect because of personal reasons.
Okay.
Prefect was I'll say when I went to Prefect, I was supposed to be in a particular class, but it didn't have room for that. So I had to go down or like repeat to fit in the class.
Okay.
So when I got the admission where I wanted, Bishop Girls was a girls' school. So when I got admission there, I just left Prefect and I went to, so if I had to be in class 6 and I was in class 5, I went to class 6.
Okay.
So basically, and then I prepared for the BECE exams, and then I went to Agri Memorial Zion School.
Agri Memorial Zion, AME Zion. That's a senior high school. So you were
Cape Coast.
Okay, interesting. And in all this journey in school, how was your performance in Cape Coast Agri Memorial?
I'll say, once you're a prefect, it means
so you were a prefect there too?
Yes, I was a prefect there too. So once you're a prefect.
Why? How did you become the prefect? Did they vote for you? Were you so enchanting? How did you become the prefect?
I wasn't too sociable when I was in school, so I'm not sure I was so enchanting. Okay. So in Prefect, like the primary school, I was a girls prefect. When I went to Bishop Girls, I was also a prefect. And then when I went to Agri Memorial, I became the dispensary girls prefect. So I don't know. I was a science student in
Dispensary
Agri,
girls prefect.
so more of like science.
Okay.
So I don't know, maybe because I was a science student, and I don't know what criteria they used, but I was nominated, and finally I became the girls
You're
prefect.
watching the role model dialogue on Truth TV, where truth liberates. Our guest has been Mrs Genevieve Duncan Obuobi, and she has been sharing with us an intriguing story on her journey, business, family, marriage, career, and a whole aspect on leadership. Genevieve, we would like an opportunity with you once again, especially when you're about to launch your book, to do a review of it, to share with our viewers in perspective the full detail of the jigsaw effect of leaders, and also to let people know where they can purchase the book. It's been a delight to have you. It's been a delight to have you join us from the comfort of your location. We come to you same time next week. This has been the Role Model Dialogue exclusively on Truth TV, where truth liberates. Big shout outs to our makeup artist Explicit. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the moment.